And welcome. We welcome everyone to this session this evening.
Thanks.
Um, Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me. I am Wilton Gillard, a Primerica representative, and tonight we are going to have a 15 minutes conversation about money and where it goes. Where it goes, and where some of it may be hiding, and how to make it work harder for you and your family. This is an educational presentation, not a one-size-fits-all solution. My goal is to help you have with w- my have have a my goal, sorry, is to help you leave with a few clear questions to ask and some simple steps, step by step, you can take. S- sometimes finding money does not mean earning more. It means noting what is actually leaving your household, a tax refund insurance cost, old subscriptions, or rate of how not to. Review may reveal room in your budget. As we go through these questions, think, I want you to think. Think about which one suits most, sounds most familiar to you. You do not need to solve everything tonight. Simply identify one area worth examining because even a small monthly amount can help you move towards an important goal. And goals are important. We need to set goals. One person said, if you don't set a goal, I mean, you're going to hit it any time because you're not aiming at nothing, so you're going to hit it anytime. Okay? Many forces affect what our money can buy. Taxes, prices, wages, and we can put in there also inflation, energy costs, interest rates, and government or retirement benefits. Some of these factors are outside of our control. There are things that we cannot control, and what you can't control is what we can't control. But our response is not what conditions improve, even slightly, but our response is not. When conditions improve even slightly, we can choose where that extra room goes. Instead of allowing it to disappear, we know what that is like. Money comes, money goes. The key question is if more money becomes available in your budget, would you notice it? And would you have a plan for it? That's an interesting question. If more money comes into your budget, will you notice it or would you have a plan for it? Primerica's approach begins with helping families look at the full picture: protection, debt savings, protection, debt savings, retirement goals, and household budget. We are not here to judge where you are. I mean, you could only do what you can do. We start with where you are and what matters most to you. A complementary financial needs analysis, or what we call a FNA, can help organize that picture and identify possible next steps. There is no obligations. It is simple, a useful conversation designed around your family protection. Like everyone have every family and individuals have different needs. So will not my plan wouldn't fit into your plan because we have different needs. Financially, you might have different dreams and goals. So this is why we customize it to suit your own personal needs. Let's talk about protection, talking about life insurance. Let's begin with protection. Uh, this is a conversation where people don't like to talk about, or they try to avoid it. Let's begin with protection. Life insurance is not an easy topic because it asks us to think about what would happen if someone we love were no longer here. But at its heart, the real value is life insurance is an act of care. It can help protect the people who depend on your income and support important goals such as housing, education, and daily life costs. The question is not merely whether you have insurance, but whether the coverage fits your family's actual needs. As I was saying before, every family would have different needs, and your needs would be different to mine. So it's not a one size fit all. And a lot of people, they don't, they have not experienced that. You might have someone come by you and they just said, "Oh, you need life insurance," and you just quote an amount, but not based on an actual assessment that will suit your need. Three questions matters here. Are you paying more than necessary? Do you have enough coverage? And do you have the right of type for your situation? Mind you, it is for your situation. A low payment is not helpful if the protection is too small, and expensive coverage may limit what you can save elsewhere. The aim is to balance appropriate protection at a measurable cost, a manageable cost. An FNA, financial need analysis, can help estimate your family needs and show where insurance fits alongside debt reduction, emergency saving, and long-term goals. So it's all planned out. It's all uh, customized towards your own need. So you'll have a better outcome. Let's look at two types of life insurance. This slide compares two broad types of life insurance: cash value insurance contributions, combined protection with a savings or investment future, and generally begins with a higher premium. When you talk about premium, we talk about the monthly payment that you'll be paying on the insurance. Term insurance focus on the protection for a set period and usually begins with a lower premium, a lower monthly payment, leaving you fees to invest separately, leaving you free to invest separately. Neither description replaces personal advice. The important point is to understand what you own, what it costs, how it works, and whether it matches your goals. Always review the policy details carefully. You know that old saying that the details are in the fine prints, and somebody might say, always read the fine prints. Let's look at four problems with cash value life insurance. And you can look at it on the slide. This slide highlights concerns family may want to examine with some cash value policies. Higher costs, less coverage for the premium. You want to look at borrowing rules, lower potential return, and limits on receiving both insurance proceeds and cash value policies differ. So avoid making a decision from one slide alone. Instead, ask clear questions about guarantees, about fees, access to funds. It's important. And what beneficiaries and what beneficiaries receive. The goal is to inform choices, not fear. A licensed professional can help you compare your current coverage with actual needs. We need to know what we have. We need to know what it costs. And we need to compare. And then based on those informed information, we can make a decision to suit our needs. And a lot of times when an agent come to us, they don't explain all of these things. They just sell you on something and you just believe. Sometimes it's because of relationship or whatever it is, and you just go from there. Godfrey, how am I doing for time?
Oh, okay. I mean, it's past. You just have less than 5 minutes to round up so we can finish in record time and take some questions and all. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'm gonna finish at this one. Which program would you want? And in this session, we can compare. Like you can see it on the screen. I'll just continue here. This
Okay.
example illustrates the idea of buying term insurance and investing the difference. In a tax-free saving account, the same monthly amount is divided between protection and a separate investment. Remember that word, separate investment. Please remember that the investment growth shown is hypothetically. It's not guaranteed, and actual value can rise or fall. The real lesson is not the exact number, it is the value. It is the value of separating protection and investment. So each can be reviewed clearly your age, your health, goals, contribution rooms, and risk confirm all matters. And as we look at this picture here, we see the difference between universal life insurance and a simple term life insurance. And we see the difference. They have the same face value, same face value. This one costs the monthly premium is 380. So we take that 380. This is a philosophy, buy term invest the difference. So we get them insurance, the same face value over here for 300,000. And we get it for $67. Over here you're paying $380. So we minus the 380. From the 60, we minus 67 from the 380. The difference is $313. So we invest that for the person. So in the end, between this, both of them are the same age, 35, and on this side 35, up to age 65. So at age 65, with the term insurance, you'll end up with $577,320. And over here with the universal life, you have a cash value of $24,792.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilton.
You are welcome.
Yeah, if there's anything I learned from your session, Mr. Wilton, is this. You started by dropping this quote, where money goes. And I know we're looking at how money works, right? So what I was able to make out of your presentation is in understanding how money works, you need to look back, you need to reflect on where the money actually goes, right? Where the money actually goes. And from your presentation, I was also able to note that, okay, money can flow into protection, right? For protection, you can look at livelihood as being part of that. We're talking about insurance, just like what you just started with, which of course this time will not permit us to really go through in depth to understand what this is and understand. But I believe the participants have been able to, gain one or two things. Of course, we can organize other sessions where we talk about this topic so that people get to understand what it is. But one thing I understand is in understanding how money works, it is important to understand how the money flows. So you can look at your own finances, look at, okay, whenever I get my payout, what's the first thing I do with it? What's the what decision do I make and all of that. So if you look deeply, that's just one of the things that Mr. Wilton mentioned that I was able to make I was able to understand in during his session. I don't know if anybody has any any comment as touching what Wilton has shared and also what you're able to make out of it. If you have any question, please, we have like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to ask our questions and receive answers for it. Anybody, please? Anybody with
I have
questions?
a question. Hi,
Okay.
Godfrey.
Hi,
Um,
Alithia.
in terms of the investment, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm just looking at the differences and I'm just wondering why is it that we're not encouraged to just focus on the TFSA alone? Because usually when you have a job or, you get benefits, there will be a section about life insurance. But I've noticed that they don't really explain the differences. So I was just wondering, why is it that they want people to focus on a universal life policy, which doesn't really give you anything at the end of the day? But then the TFSA, if you're very consistent with it for the 30 years, it's a It's like a huge difference. So what do you think that's about?
Okay,
Because
Mr.
most of the people that I know,
Yeah.
um, around before the 2000s, maybe even before COVID. No, not before COVID, but I say maybe around the 2000s. Most of the people were encouraged to buy whole life or universal
Mhm.
instead of saying, you know what, put your money in the TFSA, which makes more sense to me.
Okay, thank you so much, Alithia, for that question. Mr. Wilton, you have 1 minute to respond to Alithia. And if we're not able to respond to that, we're going to organize another session where we have in-depth discussion about the insurance and the various policies.
Okay, let me see how I can answer that in 1 minute.
Okay.
It's a commission from the salesperson to sales rep. It's about a commission, and that's why I was saying you got to read the fine prints. You got to read people. We have to read more. It's all about financial literacy, knowing what you have, the value of it, because in this cash value, your loved ones doesn't receive both cash and the life premium, the insurance, but face value. They will get one, and it's more expensive. So this is why we encourage people. This is Primerica policy. Buy term, invest the difference. And as you see in this picture, the difference between an investment, the universal is like 10 times more expensive than the term insurance. So if I have this amount of money in my account, do I need coverage? All things being well, no. So it's like buying things when it's on sale. Term insurance is when it's on sale. Universal is like buying more expensive stuff, like, and then people make that choice. But you have to know, you have to have that knowledge, and you have to apply it. Like they sell people based on, oh, you don't have to pay for the rest of you wouldn't have to pay insurance wouldn't go up for the rest of your life. Well, at 65, if I have more than $500,000 and all going well, what I am self-insured, and
Okay.
this is what we look at.
All right. Thank you
I
so
hope
much,
that answer your question.
Alithia. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. We're running out of time. We have less than a minute for this session to end. First, I want to thank everyone. Thank you, Mr. Wilton, for that wonderful session. Just like I said, we'll reach out to everyone and we'll schedule another session where we'll get to discuss this and have everybody ask their question. And oh, Alicia dropped a comment. She says she has never had it explained in that way. So I think you need to meet up with Mr. Wilton, and continue
Yeah,
the
you have my
conversation.
information. Like,
Yeah,
if you want more details
yeah,
and actually explain, because a lot of this is not explained to people.
to people, yeah. All right, thank you so much, everyone. We have less than 60 seconds. Thank you for joining in. Just like I said, we'll have more sessions coming up and we'll have more time to have this conversation. So thank you so much for your time. To have a lovely evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, bye. Mm.
Hello.